Hey there, puppy parents. Have you ever wondered about your dog's peculiar habits, from digging holes in your backyard to their unique responses to your commands? Today we're exploring the interesting world of dog behaviors. We'll be addressing some common myths, sharing some insightful facts, and offering helpful tips to help you understand your pet better. Ready to learn? Let's start. Dog Instincts 101. How to make them work in training. You see that hole in your backyard? Your dog has been busy, huh? Well, it's not just a random doggy decision to turn your garden into Swiss cheese. There is a method in the madness. So this might be your little buddy seeking out his or her own cozy den, a haven from the hustle and bustle. It's a bit like their version of a chill-out room. Cooler in hot weather, snug in the cold. And that bed or crate scratching, yep, it's all about the den vibe. And it can be tougher to break this habit than a new chew toy. So while it's true that not all digging comes from instinctive behavior, boredom, for example, can play a role too, as for some other reasons. But I feel not many folks realize that a dog's drive to dig often springs from their inborn instincts. Now, I know what some people are thinking about crate training. Isn't that a bit mean? As some people say, well, your dog can actually see its crate as its personal safe space. Think of it as their own private mini apartment. Plus, mama dog teaches her pups not to do their business in the den, which is another dog instinct you can harness for your training journey using crates when potty training. So alright, fur parents, now that we've turned your pup's crate into the coziest den ever, it's time to get our paws dirty with another crucial part of puppy training. We're talking about the power of persistent commands. So before we unleash our tips, remember that patience is key here. So expecting Vito to understand human language right off the bat is like expecting a toddler to solve a calculus problem. So training should begin as soon as your puppy comes home. Perhaps on day 2 to allow for a settling in period on the first day. So this usually occurs around the 8-week mark when your puppy comes home. But remember, it is important to keep the session short, sweet and positive. So here's the thing, the best way to get your puppy to sit, stay, fetch or any other command is through positive reinforcement. Think treats, praise or toys. We're not into the punishment game here. That just confuses your puppy and makes training a drag. So does it sometimes feel like your dog has selective hearing? Does he act like an angel with one family member and a little devil with another? So fret not, you're not alone. Dogs really do want to please us. They're just sometimes clueless about what we want from them. If Rover's jumping and nipping at one person but behaving like a model citizen with another, it's not because he's got a favorite. It's because he's confused. So here's the deal. For your pooch to understand the family rules, everyone needs to be singing the same tune. That means using the same commands and training techniques. So if one person is saying sit and another is saying sit down, your dog's gonna be left scratching his head, at least in the beginning. And if some folks let the dog jump on them while others don't, well, your dog is gonna have a hard time figuring out what's okay and what's not, especially when he's still a puppy. And another thing, we all know that begging at the dinner table can turn from cute to annoying real quick. So if you want that to stop, then no one should ever be tossing scraps from the table. And back to the cues and commands, remember that your puppy doesn't come preloaded with an English dictionary. They're super at learning words, but they need to be taught their meanings very clearly. To your dog, down and lie down might as well be two completely different commands. And don't even get us started on different family members using different commands for the same thing. So learning how to train dogs is a bit like learning to dance, but it's totally worth it. So the good news, dogs are super forgiving. So don't worry if you're not perfect. Just make sure everyone in the family is using the same cues and you'll see the difference, I'll promise you. So I suggest you talk about this during your family dinner while your furry friend waits politely in a non-begging mode. So now that we tackled the den instincts and the consistent commands, it's time to pounce on our next important topic. So the great exercise behavior connection, how physical activity tail wags training. So as your puppy goes from tiny furball to tail wagging teenager, their exercise needs are going to evolve as well. So for your young puppy, short walks, playful romps and plenty plenty of puppy power naps are perfect and definitely required, especially those naps. But as they grow, you need to level up their exercise game as well. So just remember, ensure you're not overdoing it. So here are some handy guidelines for your pup's exercise regime. So aim for 5 minutes of walkies per month of your pup's age, up to 4 times a day. So if your puppy is 8 weeks old, that's 4 short 10-minute walks daily. Alternatively, another rule of thumb is 1 minute of walkies per week of your pup's age. So an 8-week-old puppy can be walked for 8 minutes at a time, 4 times a day. Naturally, while you're in the throes of potty training with your puppy, you'll find yourself heading outdoors more than just 4 times a day, obviously. And to make this process smoother, I've put together a comprehensive potty training schedule for you. So if you're still in the potty training phase, make sure to check it out. So it's free and readily available for download. Just click on the link in the description below. So when it comes to playtime, remember that too much roughhousing can be hard on your pup's joints. So our advice is to let your puppy play with calm older dogs or other puppies in secure environments. And by secure, we don't mean your local dog park. So from 8 weeks to about 12 weeks, it's essential to socialize your puppy. So instead of trusting your puppy into the chaos of bustling events or public dog parks, opt for well-researched puppy classes and organized play dates. Remember, these playdates aren't your opportunity to catch up on gossip. Keep a close eye on your puppy to ensure they're not feeling overwhelmed or scared. And coming back to dog parks, it might seem like a fun idea to go to those dog parks, but they're often not the safest place for a puppy that's roughly 8 to 12 weeks old. There's a risk of aggressive dogs, obviously. There are diseases because your puppy didn't have all its vaccinations yet, and an overwhelming number of new smells as well, and sounds. It's just better to stick to a controlled environment until your puppy has at least had all its vaccination shots. So different parts of the world have varying schedules for puppy vaccinations. For instance, here in the Netherlands, where I'm from, every puppy receives its most crucial vaccinations from the age of 12 weeks. And on another note, related to dog exercise, here is a fascinating fact. A study titled Effects of Physical Activity on Dog Behavior showed that physical activity, especially dog sports, helped dogs develop better coping mechanisms and self-control. So dogs participating in agility sports were even less aggressive. So what's the scoop on the link between exercise and behavior? So number 1, balance is key. Your puppy needs a mix of physical activity, mental stimulation, and rest. Rest is really important. So over-exercising can do more harm than good, especially to their growing joints when your puppy is still in a grow phase. So number 2, playtime is a must for socialization and behavioral development. But remember, you are the ref here. If things get too rowdy, it's time to blow the whistle. Watch out for signs of stress, discomfort, or fear and intervene when needed. Number 3, different dog breeds and sizes have different exercise needs. Consult your vet or a pro trainer to understand what works best for your particular pup. And again, as a rule of thumb, 1 minute of walkies per week of your puppy's age. So an 8-week-old puppy can be walked for 8 minutes at a time. Number 4, early socialization is super important. Enroll your puppy in puppy classes, set up play dates, but stay clear of chaotic dog parks in the beginning. And number 5, exercise isn't just about keeping your puppy in shape. It's also a key player in behavioral development. And especially for mature dogs, so for the ones that already have a mature dog, physical activities like dog sports can help improve their coping mechanisms, self-control, and social skills. And now lastly, let's debunk some myths about the alpha dog. You probably heard of it before. So have you ever been told that to train your dog, you need to become the alpha, so the dominant leader of your pack, so that you should always eat before your dog or never let them walk through a doorway ahead of you? So if yes, then you've been introduced to the concept of the alpha dominance. But here's the real deal. The idea of the alpha dog is outdated and it doesn't hold as much weight in the modern understanding of dog behavior as you might think. So this concept was rooted in an inaccurate understanding of wolf behavior, so the ancestors of our domestic dogs. So but recent studies reveal that wolf societies are not strictly hierarchical. They're more like human families where parents guide and teach their young ones. So it's not about dominance, but about familial bonds and cooperation. So what does this mean for you and your tail-wagging companion? It means that effective dog training is not about showing who's boss, but about creating a bond of trust and clear communication. Let's say a dog has a habit of jumping on people. So the dominance theory would suggest pushing them down to assert control. But what if instead you taught them to sit and rewarded them when they obeyed this command? So that's positive reinforcement, and it works wonders in comparison to trying to be the alpha. So wrapping up, remember that the so-called alpha dog theory is more of a myth. So your furry friend doesn't need a dominant leader, but a guiding, caring family member. Your training sessions should focus more on teaching and guiding rather than asserting dominance. And that, dear friends, brings us to the end of our dog training adventure today. I hope you find this guide useful, and remember, every moment spent with your four-legged friend is a chance to learn, teach, and grow together. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to join next time as we continue to explore the fascinating world of dog behavior. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.